I always want to pick your brain on the marketing side of things, like, because I want to be able to get better marketing, right? So I think I was asking you just like, how exactly are you monetizing this stuff? Like, what are you charging? Things like that. And then it's so funny when me and you get together, because every single time it's like one brain coming together and these ideas just shoot everywhere. And like what we came to the realization of was how much marketing and finance actually ties together. And that's subconsciously what I personally been building my own social media on. Like, I'm not a social media person, you know that. I've kind of fell into success with it. I'm really good on the finance aspect of things, but I know that learning is obviously, you know, a really big thing. So I think that when the idea came up between me and you of, well, how do we do this, right? I think the podcast was just kind of the next logical step. And I know, like, me personally, I have a big audience that, and I was telling you this the other day, they're like, when are you going to get the podcast going? Like, we're so excited about it, right? And it's just like, the time has finally come. So this is, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be able to do what we're doing, for sure. So I was just talking to another coach yesterday, and we were talking about content. And she's like, well, how did you grow your TikTok content from, you know, 0 people
What's
to...
the secret?
Yeah, exactly. What everybody wants to know what the secret is, right?
Yeah.
And I listen, viewer, okay? I'm gonna share this with you, okay? There is no shortcut to success at all. Like, I want to tell, like, everybody that I sit down with, like, oh, well, how did you get your TikTok to X number of followers, you know? And it's like, to be honest, what I did was I just did it every single day. Like, I remember, like, when I first started creating videos, I was scared of getting on. Like, I was like, you could tell I wasn't authentic self. I was kind of winging it, like, stuttering, like if I go back and look at it now, I would laugh at myself, like 100%. You know what I mean?
Every day.
Yeah, and it was like, even the editing portion, like, I remember thinking to myself, like, I am garbage at video editing. I'm talking garbage at video editing. So it was like, between recording the content and then, you know, the hashtags and then the video editing and what software is, all that. Just, I mean, it would take me probably, literally, Sean, like 4 to 5 hours for one video. Just take it head on. Like, take it head on. Start with what you know how to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be the biggest thing. Is that's what I was thinking. Start with what you know, because you know finance, but you didn't necessarily know editing. You didn't know
100%.
everything. But if you might be in 2 buckets, you might have, or 3 buckets. You might have a skill, and you need to start at some point and get in front of the camera, and then you start editing for yourself. And then the second level, I was talking about this with Levi on the VLP, where you might get to the point. The highest level is you hire a production company, you have somebody come out. And some people might be ready immediately for that, but in terms of at the base level, you just need to turn on the camera, and then maybe you get to the point where the next level is you have somebody follow you on with the camera, and then you talking to the camera. And then after that, you do 2 videographers together, then doing a full production of talking about whatever it is you're a professional at. And you have to assess where you're at, and then most importantly, if you don't know, or if you don't have a skill, you need to build a skill, and most importantly, record it still. And then once you build that skill, you have it recorded, and you have that process, and then you can share and show, because the one thing that's important is credibility. People want to know, if you want to figure out what you're good at or who to go for, that's a coach, because you were talking about that. My first thought process is always ask people what they have done and what they are currently doing. Right. And for me, working in advertising, a lot of businesses get burnt. I have several businesses, everybody I talk to, they have somebody they're working with, and they're looking to work with somebody else because they feel like they're not getting a bunch of value, or they're not being put, they're not having proper expectations or proper communication sent on what they can expect from their offer. And they never did their due diligence. They didn't ask them what they did, or who they work with, or what they currently have exceptional. And that's something that I always make a priority, to get some type of testimonial from somebody to share and reference, because people want trust. People want trust. So he sits down, and I'm figuring out, like, how to monetize my social media, my TikTok. 'Cause at that time, I wasn't doing any brand deals. I wasn't doing anything. It was just, let me just make content, like that type of thing, and just give this back, you know, just kind of educate people and document the journey. And we were talking about brand deals. And I'm like, what do you charge on a brand deal? And he goes, I charge $3,000 for a 30-second video.
And I was like, now limiting belief in me was like, are you like, there's no way I could do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, tell me your method, because again, I'm a student of the game. Tell me what's going on that you like experience that, and like, what's been your, how are you getting this type deal? And he goes, well, think about it like this. He goes, you're making a 30-second video that's going to live on the internet forever.
Loop.
So it doesn't matter if you made this content like 5 years ago. People are going to continuously see this.